What started off as a simple car camping adventure has suddenly escalated into a full sea to summit adventure. As I was enjoying the scenery, I still needed to get back. I needed to find somewhere to park up for the night, and I also needed food. It was time to head back, and head back quick. On today's episode, we're going to go on another car camping adventure somewhere in Wales because we need to go via the boat to pick a few things up. So I'm going to get the roof box on, give the car a little bit of a wipe down, top up with some liquid Moly, and then we're going to go off on our adventures. Wipe down, roof box on, and throw in some liquid Moly. So link in the description for this. Oh yeah, let's go. There's a very good chance I'm going to go off-roading and it's going to rain, which means I'm not going to be detailing the car. Usually I use something called Maguire's ceramic wax, which is a very good product. I do recommend it, but in the meantime we're just going to give it a quick wipe over. That's car clean and dry, so time to put the roof box on. The roof box I went for is a Thule Ocean 80 and I got it from Go Outdoors. It's worked pretty well, so just open it up. I keep all the roof bar attachments inside. For the Thule roof box, I do recommend it. This one's about 320 litres if I remember correctly. I don't have the Amazon link because you can actually get it at a better deal at somewhere like Go Outdoors, so try there. And the roof racks themselves, they're not Thule branded ones, they're just generic ones that I got from Screwfix. I can't remember how much they were, maybe £40–50 at the time. The way they hook on, so what I do is I put it over the other side, hook that round, and then put it over on this side. There's a little hole underneath, just marry it up with the little hole underneath here, and then I've just got a little Allen key that hooks in. There's usually a plug in them when you first get the car, but I've removed them because I use the roof racks on and off all the time. And then you just adjust them, so if you wobble them, they're still wobbly, you just tighten them here, so just do them evenly each side. The way the universal mounts work is you have the U-bolt, just goes underneath with the box on top, and then you put the clamp down and then you tighten them up using the bolts. The box by itself weighs around 10 kilograms, so it's fairly easy just to throw up on top, so let's do that. What I tend to do is have them all laid out ready to go. So I'll start off on the one side, leaving the whole box over to this side, and then I'll put the U-bolts through, and I'll use the footwell to actually stand up in. Clamp on, bolts on. And I'll do this side, and then what I'll do is I'll slide the whole thing over, do the other side, and then I'll line it up. I've not tightened the bolts so I can slide it over to the position I want. Personally, I prefer to have it in the middle, so what I'll do is I'll line up the lock with the aerial, so the advantage of that is it's even either side. If you're a shorter person or you struggle with your health a little bit, you might want to have it lopsided a little bit, which means it's safer from the one side for you to access the roof box on top, because obviously you're not reaching as high if it's just on the one side. Plus if you've got a bike or anything, you can put it on the other side. For me, I prefer it in the middle, so I'm just going to slide it over. Line up the lock with this. And then tighten them up by hand.
We all have different systems. My system is putting everything that I need for the night time, all the bedding and stuff in the top, that way it's out of the way, and then I'll have all the cooking stuff below and the coffee machine ready for the adventures. Once I've cooked and cleaned and everything, I'll then throw everything, all my cooking stuff at the top, and then I'll have my gaming laptop, my Bluetti, and the bedding stuff below ready for bed. I'm just double checking the car, making sure the engine bay is all fine with the coolant and oil. In the meantime, I'm just going to add some of the liquid Moly Pro System Cleaner. So you just throw it into the fuel tank. It basically cleans your engine as you're driving. I've been using it for many years. I do recommend it. I paid my own money for this. It's not sponsored, but if you do click the Amazon link in the description below at no extra cost to you, I get a little bit of kickback for it. But yeah, only buy it if it's about £15 on sale. If it's over that, then please wait.
It's the next day and we're on the halfway point now, so we've got an hour and a half left to get to the boat, so usually it's around 3 hours to get there. We've got 70 miles left, so what we're going to do this evening is we're going to go and spend the evening on board, and we're going to check out Street View, and I'm going to try and find a camping spot near a beach somewhere. On the way to the beach, we're going to stop off at a little town called Barry, which is a few towns down from Cardiff, which is where the boat is moored. and it's famous for a TV show called Gavin and Stacey. One of the main characters is played by James Corbin. For you international viewers, you may know him. He ended up going to America, and he's in Saturday Night Live a lot of the time, or one of those late night TV shows, which I think is quite popular in the States. But the reason we're going to go there is because there is a Weatherspoons there, which apparently used to be a bank, and I'm interested in finance. If you watched my previous videos, my 3-stage plan to actually leave the UK, you'll know that I'm kind of interested in investing and finance and stuff. But we're going to go to this Weatherspoons because apparently you can have your meal inside the vaults.
The good thing about living out of a suitcase is you're already packed to go. We've got the Bluetti power station. If you watch any of my other videos, you'll see that I'm a big fan of it. So it's a 2 kilowatt system, and I've had it connected to the solar at home, and then because it wasn't sunny for the last 2 days, I was charging it while I was driving using the charger one. But we'll plug it into the solar because I didn't charge all the way while I was here. So let's have a quick look. It started on 20% this morning. I've driven 3.5 hours, it's on 92%. So I'm going to plug it into the solar. I'm going to plug it into the solar panels in the on the boat now. So I've disconnected the Victron system so I can unplug the solar panel safely, plug it into here. So I think I've planned the journey, so let me show you what we're going to do. The starting point is here, and Barry's here, which is where we're going to go to first, and then we're going to drive up all the way over here. So I think I found a pretty decent spot over here. My original plan was to go down to Rhossili. There's a car park there, but I read the signs online that you can't park overnight, so what I'm going to do is park here, walk on down and see what the score is. For those who are like, hey, why didn't you just sail there? That is a good question. So let's show you the tide. So tomorrow I would have to go 2 hours before high tide, which means leaving at 8 o'clock in the morning, which is perfectly fine. And the weather to get there tomorrow is fine. I would arrive probably about 4-5 p.m. and I don't have an outboard engine either at the moment, so I can't get to shore. So it would take me about 8-9 hours to get there. And then the weather on the way back, it's not looking that nice at all. It's going to be light rain, pretty breezy as well, on the nose by the looks of it. So let's just go with the afternoon. So yeah, you'll be the wind will be against me. So yeah, it's not the greatest, and I'd probably have to leave about 3 p.m. from there, I think. Yeah, so I'd have to go at low tide and then make my way up the channel, which is you know, the times are nice but the weather not so nice. So to do like a 16-hour round trip just for a few hours on the beach isn't really viable versus my 2 hour there and 2 hours back. So that's why. As you can see, taking the boat would take a lot longer than just simply jumping in the car at my own leisurely pleasure, so I'll probably leave here about 9:30 after the rush hour because it is a weekday. I've not been able to find work recently, which means my latest speeding ticket with my 3 points and £100 fine is definitely not welcome at all. Can I crowdfund a speeding ticket, you reckon? Who knows? Anyway, my PayPal is in the description below. So yeah. Anyway, let's go. Inside, we've got the vault doors. So the original vault doors there. The walls are just plasterboard now, so it's not like you're actually inside the safe and you've got a window on this side. Still pretty cool though. But I did spot somewhere else around the corner which is pretty interesting, which I parked nearby, so we'll go check that out. Really like the lights. So we've got about an hour and a half to drive to the beach now. I did spot another interesting place just around the corner. I think I might actually have to come back to Barrow. It seems a lot of interesting places around here. I had parked opposite this building, which is called the Goods Sheds, and what caught my eye about it was you had these tram carts which had been converted out back, so I thought I'd just go and check them out. The whole complex was a mixed facility, so you had a few bars, restaurants, Airbnbs, co-working spaces, quite a few interesting places. It kind of reminded me of Bucks Park in London, which is a load of shipping containers that they've kind of converted into kind of small mum and pop stores. I think it would definitely be worth going back to check it out in a little bit more detail, but for now let's head to the beach. I didn't detail the car because I knew I'd be driving on a lot of roads just like this. There's a lot of single lane roads where they kind of open up just a little bit in parts for other cars to pass. That usually means you're kind of driving into some bushes. I mean, I don't really mind so much because my car's held together with duct tape and hope, but obviously other people have nicer cars than me and they certainly don't want to move out of the way. Especially if you're financing a car, the last thing you want to do is scratch the side of it and have to repair the vehicle when you're taking it back to the dealership. As you can see with the conditions of the roads where you have small narrow lanes and hedgerows either side, and then people put boulders in front of the properties so you can't park up, you can see how challenging it is to try and find a parking space for an overnighter. As somebody who works all over the country, I often drive on these type of roads. This is the part of the journey that kind of threw me the most. So this is as far as you can get on Street View when I was researching the area. But as you come up to this hut where a guy pops out the window and is just like, oh, it's £5 please. I thought the parking spot was on public property, but it's not, it's private. So we made it to the beach. When I was researching the area last night, I did come across this car park, but it just looked like there was nothing really going on. However, when I've turned up there, it's actually the entrance for a camping and caravan park, and to get in you have to pay £5 for parking. I've got until 9 PM tonight apparently here. They do have a campsite available on site, however at £25 a night you also need a van or like a tent, so a little bit more legit than my car camping setup. One of the employees did state that there's a pub nearby that I could try, and there's a few little kind of grass verges that I could just try there. So in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to Rhossili, which is just behind me, and have a little look. So that was my original plan, to go to that car park. However, Street View does show signs saying that there's no overnight parking. So I'm just going to go check out the area, see what the score is, see if there's like a little supermarket, because at the moment it looks like dinner's just going to be rice and salad, because that's all I brought with me. I was going to go to like a Tesco or supermarket nearby, but there's nothing really going on from what I can see, and the internet's a little bit slow around here. If I was to bring the boat, I would have had to go just this side of the rocks to be sheltered from the oncoming wind. It's not too windy, and it's not too windy, and the sea state is pretty flat and calm for now, but tomorrow it looks like it's going to be picking up and not looking too nice. But again, as I said earlier, it'd be like 16 hours for me just to get there and back, as opposed to just driving a couple of hours. So, you know, if I was going to go, say, to Lundy or somewhere else after, then it would make sense, obviously, to bring the boat, but car camping will do for now. I decided to continue the hike and head up to the car park on top of the hill. It started to rain, so I had to put the camera away because it's not weather sealed, and as I headed up the hill, a lot of the children playing on the beach ended up going the same way, so of course I can't film that. With only two things on the agenda, which was breakfast inside the vault and going to Rhossili Beach, I'd already completed my task for today. As I continued to walk down the path, following the horses and the road, I spotted Worm's Head in the distance. We have Worm's Head just here, and then all the way around we have Rhossili Beach, and then if you can see the little park just in the distance there, that's actually where I'm parked. And then you have Rhossili just up here. It's turning out to be quite the adventure. It was now 4:30. I knew that I could make it to the top of Worm's Head, but could I make it back in time going across this rocky terrain? As the tide rises, the path to get to and from Worm's Head disappears, and you have to wait once again for low tide. Feeling confident enough, I went for it. I never planned on going on a long distance hike, especially on a slippy rock formation like this. Luckily I had my Gore-Tex walking boots on. I made it onto the island with not too much spare time. My next challenge Do I go up or do I carry on as far as I can go? I decided to go up to the top of the hill instead of carrying on. What started off as a simple car camping adventure has suddenly escalated into a full sea to summit adventure. As I was enjoying the scenery, I still needed to get back. I needed to find somewhere to park up for the night, and I also needed food. It was time to head back, and head back quick.
Although it's not far, it's dealing with the terrain, which is going to be slowing down. So you can see the rocks just here. So I have half an hour to basically make it back. So a lot of the terrain is like this, and then you get the bigger bits. From up in the distance, I definitely thought I was being trapped. You can see where it's coming in now, and then by the time I get up to the cliff top up there, this is probably going to be non-passable. Woo!
And we made it, so it's back to the car we go. We still had a long way to go, so first we got to go down and then we got to go across the beach over to the campsite.
Alright, so we're going to roll the dice and stealth camp in the car park that originally I was going to go to, but on Google Street View it did state that there was no parking overnight. However, after walking to Worm's Head, which is just behind me there, on the way back I decided to stop off at the car park and checked out the signs. There's no sign saying that you can't park overnight, and there's no time restrictions or anything that I can see. So I'm going to rock up, pay some parking and just see what the ticket says, and then just camp overnight. I'll probably leave super early. I may even go to the pub there for food, because at the moment all I have is salad and rice in the car. I'm really trying to keep costs low because my whole work situation right now, but there's no supermarkets nearby, so I can't really add anything to it, and I also don't have oil, so I can't really cook anything without purchasing it. So most of the stuff's on the boat. My original plan was to go via a kind of Tesco or something along the way, but I kind of got sidetracked, as you always do.
It was a real shame I couldn't car camp on the location. I mean, I would have paid the £25, but anyway, let's brew up. It's powered by my Bluetti power station, and then we'll set the car up for car camping, and then we'll go on our merry little way. I was unsure about the car parking space I was heading to, so I was looking for places along the way, and I did come across this place. I do want to be respectful for people's personal property, so I didn't want to go inside, of course, and on the outside I also wasn't very comfortable in parking up there. I did see a little spot just down the road, but again it was exactly the same situation where they had the signs on the outside. All that space and you can't use it.
I've kind of found some success for a car park setup for tonight. It is 8:30 now, and I'm in an abandoned restaurant car park. And next to it there's some kind of holiday camp. Guess it's good night. I'm going to wrap this episode up. There's no internet, so I'm just going to edit this video. But yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for being fans. Cheers.